Hey, good morning, everyone. So we are here to present today the project Lighthouse. Along with me, I have Susan, Andy, and Cynthia. Next slide. Yeah. To give a little background of our project, our affinity group was the BIPOC students at UW campus. And the theme of the whole project or the problem statement that we picked was better access of mental health resources to better the access of mental health resources to the BIPOC students in the Europe campus. So as part of the user research, we interviewed two members who are part of the underrepresented minority in the Europe campus. The major questions and scenarios that we wanted to know or understand from them was their experience in accessing mental health resources and their experience in actually using the mental health resources within the campus. Next slide. Yeah, so our major findings are these. So the marked ones are the validated findings, so which I'd like to quickly go about right now. So one of the difficulties that they had was finding counselors who are like them, like of the same color or of the same community, to feel a little bit more comfort level while they are discussing about their problems. So one of our participants actually felt that when she brought up the topics of race or intersectional identities, the therapist actually got nervous, and that really didn't make her feel comfortable discussing her problems. And the other insight was the difficulty in finding resources. So generally, during the time of crisis, our participants felt that they are not in the right mindset to go to do research about finding mental health resources. I'll pass it on to Cynthia.
Thanks, Vijay. So with this research in mind, we asked how might we questions. Focusing on our validated findings, we scoped our how might we question from improving mental health resource accessibility for BIPOC students to seek adequate care in moments of crisis to how might we prepare BIPOC students in finding adequate resources before moments of crisis. So going into ideation, we want to be mindful of the BIPOC experience, especially with the topic of mental health. Searching for an app to download or browsing on the web is not the first thing that people would do in a mental health crisis. Furthermore, many of these applications made by those in tech may not meaningfully solve the issue at large. Thus, our approach to ideation strayed away from these traditional mobile apps or websites. We thought about a first aid kit for mental health resources to help prepare students, paired with an art installation centered on BIPOC experiences. This idea celebrates the BIPOC community while persuading students to search and informing them of existing mental health resources before times of crisis.
Hi, this is Andy. So the reason why we chose an art installation as part of our project is because traditional ways of distributing mental health resources, either by events or flyers, are usually not well received by students. Students do not prioritize researching mental health resources or downloading mental health apps because they're extremely busy. For example, flyers that advertise university counseling centers or other resources aren't going to convince students to dig into them. We thought that displaying art related to BIPOC experiences would be a more abstract and thus interesting and engaging approach to getting students informed and interested in mental health resources. So we brainstormed different ways of projecting artworks, and we arrived at this idea of a monolith, a motif of which, as shown by the images that were our inspiration, is almost ostensibly thought-provoking and engaging. So as stated before, we did not want to directly inform people to go to access mental health resources. We arrived on this idea of a lighthouse, which is a 30-feet metallic structure that will project artworks to buildings on top of with nothing but QR codes on the sides. We hope that the origin of the projections will interest students to scan the QR codes to find out more about the artwork and also be presented with mental health resources that they will be aware of before moments of crisis. We aim to have these around the campus so that we can penetrate into the time that they have while walking to the next class, in which they can walk while being on their phones.
We selected the Red Square at University of Washington Seattle campus because its size supports the scale of the art installation and the number of students present. We also considered the quad, but we decided not to go with that location as the cherry blossoms obstructed the view of the building facade. There are 4 lighthouses located in the Red Square in total. This is an aerial view of the Red Square, and you can see that the lighthouses are spread out in the plaza. On the right, you can also see that the side view of the lighthouse and how students interact and scan the QR code. On your left, that is the day view of the Red Square, and on your right, that is the night view of the lighthouses in the Red Square.
Yeah, so we actually went ahead, and although we didn't have a chance to do user testing because of the scale of our project and the time constraints, we decided that because of the feasibility of our project and how it's not very feasible for us to prototype this whole experience in real life situations, that a VR would be a good solution to this. So what we did with help of Susan to get the 3D models of the Red Square models, we went into Unity with Oculus Quest to build a VR user testing experience, a theoretical user testing experience, where there will be these monoliths on the Red Square campus, and then the students can kind of go around and walk around.
And then when they scan the QR codes on these lighthouses, students will be brought to this mobile website extension, which aims to provide context of the art installation, while also providing a starting point for the next steps in assessing mental health resources and preparation for times of need. And then although we were unable to test our prototype, we would have liked to test how BIPOC students interact with the art installation, the friction transitioning from the art to the mobile site extension, and how effective the site is in providing adequate preparation information for finding mental health resources.
That's it, thank you.
Thank you.